So let's go to the back page of the newspapers with sports. Oh yes, the Super Falcons with Mission X. And our correspondent, Cecilia Morgbe, has been covering this from day one. And someone has been praying that we don't have her back home until the girls win the cup. So it is my pleasure to hand over this conversation to the woman in green this morning. Duke Barakbo, as Jeffrey will call it. I will call over to you now.
He's wearing green wristwatch.
Yeah, I'm a member of the Super Falcons team this morning.
Honorary member.
Left fullback, Bukola Koka. Cecilia, it's so good to see you, and our prayers have been answered. We didn't want you back home until you were going to come with the girls and the trophy. It was a thrilling encounter yesterday, Cecilia. What went through your mind, particularly...
That's 2 days ago. Right?
Yeah, 2 days ago, rather, on Saturday. What went through your mind, particularly when the Moroccans had their first share at goal scoring? Not just one, two. Cecilia?
It was even when the first goal was scored, it was like, you know, like the crowd first. But when they scored the first goal, you know, where do I even start? Like, there was just this shock in everybody's face. It was like, what's going on? Because I had some, the journalists sitting around me, you know, you had some from EXPN, the Athletics, because they actually wanted a story, you know, 10 title. So some of them were supporting us. And the Ghanaians who actually came, that because we went to support them when they beat South Africa in the third place match, they were also around me. They were looking, what's going on? I mean, this is what they Super Falcons, this is what they do. Strike first and then the whole crowd is silent. But yeah, it was kind of shocking. But I knew the Super Falcons that they would come back because we have a coach who he knows how to make changes when it's needed. I think it was that belief in the coach. And also I looked at the bench and I looked at the players that were there. I said, come on, any player from the bench can actually come and make, you know, a difference. And that actually happened. So I think the belief was still there, but it was a shocker at first. Then second half started. After the break, so when they came on, so there was this vibe return to the team because the goals that were scored were just some silly mistakes that they made, and the Moroccans, you know, capitalized on that. So the first 5 minutes coming in the second half, so like they were now settled. So I knew that if something was going to come, and the coach, you know, his usual way, made his usual changes, and of course, the rest is history.
Yeah, history, pleasant one at that. Speaking of those who connected the dots for this particular part of history, Okoronkwo, there is a Jemmy Lucy. Asisat herself has reportedly gone on socials to celebrate Deme and Abiodun. Cecilia, who are you singling out as the girls of the match?
Oh, it's actually hard, really, because every one of them, from the beginning to the end, played a crucial role. The only players that didn't play happens to be Choma Okafor. She was injured when she came in. She was injured at first until, you know, she got better later in the tournament. Then the other two reserve goalkeepers are the only ones who didn't get a chance. Every player who played, I mean, both the ones that didn't play, there was just this synergy, this unity among these players, this love. You know, when you have players who all of them are hungry, even when they're not playing, they're cheering the other players for victory. So it's actually hard to pick a player of the tournament. But I think Rasheedat Ajibade obviously deserved that. She was not just leading from the front on the field, she was also leading at the back, her encouragement, you know, to the players, her talks with the players. Each time, you know, she says, anytime they're down, there's just this thing, and you tell, look, you girls can actually make history, because Rasheedat was part of them that won the one in 2018. So she knew what it means to actually win this title. And then you have Asisat Oshola, who more like she allowed the other girls to shine. Who were thinking, people who were watching felt she was selfish, especially when she stormed out when she was during the substitution against Botswana. Some people felt, I mean, she took it too far. But this is someone who allowed the younger ones to shine. I mean, the encouragement, the way she talked with the girls. She always say, this is where she says, my girls. You know, she refers to the players as my girls, and that tells you the leadership quality she also had, not just on the field of play, but also outside. So it's actually hard to pick. But overall, yes, Rasheedat Ajibade was named player of the tournament, well deserved. Esther Okoronkwo is another player you can also pick out because, 5 assists, 2 goals, it's a big one. But for you to have a captain, actually player of the match 3 times, it tells you that, yes, there's something about Rasheedat Ajibade, her leadership quality, and she played every minute of every game, from the very first game till the last game. So she, well-deserved player of the tournament. But on that final day, of course, Esther Okoronkwo, you definitely can rule her out. I mean, she's just a gem, a rare gem that Nigeria, we're just lucky to have her play for this country.
Cecilia, Esther's performance, and literally all of them, but Esther was like a motherboard on that pitch, and they were able to connect all the dots. Brilliant performance. But let's talk about 2 things that we must not forget, so that we use it to pepper them. 10 times. That's the part I'm interested in. Let's remind the rest of Africa that these girls are won in 10 times. Maybe tell the rest of Africa what this means for us and these girls. And how many of these girls you see this perhaps may be their final outing as far as donning the jersey of the Super Falcons is concerned?
It's actually hard to say because we have another WAFCON next year. So I think maybe after next year, after the World Cup in 2027, we can actually say maybe 1 or 2 may want to leave the scene. But from everything I saw, maybe Tochukwu Oluwaye, I don't know, because since Chiamaka came on, she's taken the shirt. But we haven't found another goalkeeper, that is like a second as good as a second, to her. So second choice will definitely still remain Tochukwu Oluwaye, except another one is found before that time. But every other player on the field, I don't see anyone actually leaving the scene anytime soon. Because also naturally, this assist WAFCON title. Assistant to Shola is a 4th, and Assistant to Shola is someone you can't say, oh, she needs to leave the scene, because what she does off the field and on the field of play, you definitely can't, take that away from her. Her contribution, her leadership role, what she does with the girls alone, they will tell you, look, if we didn't have her, maybe some of us would have lost hope. Because when you have that vociferous crowd, the shouts, the booing, the lasers, everything, you actually need experience in that aspect. Assistant was there when they did that in 2016. 2016 scenario was actually similar to what the Moroccans did, except without the laser, of course. That's the only difference. The crowd in the Cameroon in 2016 was even more than this. As at 12 noon or 1 p.m., the stadium was filled up. You had the president on ground, you had we call them the DSS or the men in black all around everywhere. We couldn't even celebrate the victory. It was that sad. Some journalists who wore green on that day were looking for shirts to wear on what they were wearing. So now, the hostile environment the Falcons have played in, most of these players, they had like almost eight players that are actually making their debut in this tournament. So it simply means you need these experienced players to be there. So when I hear issues like this player needs to leave the scene, players know, they knew when to leave the scene. Because for them, as long as they have something to contribute, as long as the coach feels you deserve a spot on the squad, you will definitely have that. Nigeria, the talent in the Falcons is so much that you really don't even know who to drop. Because as you're dropping people are still talking about Ngozi Okobi is still needed in this team. That's how talented we have. That's how talented the crop of girls that we have playing for the national team are. So for me, I don't think there's any particular player can say, oh, it's time for you to leave the scene, because each and every one of them contributed from the beginning to the end of this trophy, the one, even when people did not believe in them. I remember the stories that were coming out after the game against Botswana, and then after the game against Algeria, it was worse. And then some people were even calling, what kind of coach do you have? But when you have a coach who, all through the group stage, he did not concede a goal. You have Osina Chogali right there at the back, Halimatu Ayinde. Are these the girls you want to actually leave the scene? No, because clean sheet was kept until the final, apart from the penalty they conceded against South Africa. They had that clean sheet until the final of the tournament. Who were responsible for that? So every one of these players who donned the jersey all through the tournament, they all played together. So I don't think there's anyone that can lead the scene at this moment. These girls can still, this team that we have, I mean, they can only get better in 2026.
Well said, Cecilia. And when you talk about the hostilities, it was really sad to see yet again the lasers being directed at their faces, the fake whistles. I mean, it's something I think we spoke about last year. We've spoken about it before time and again, particularly when these competitions hold in North African countries. It's a very sad one, really, and yesterday still happened again. I know that there was an announcement made, 2 days ago rather, there was an announcement made that anyone caught using the lasers will be escorted out of the stadium. Come on, it continued up until almost the end. So I just wanted to mention that because CAF really needs to do something about it. This is 2025. But let's talk about, I mean, the lessons to learn. For some people, I mean, we can build on this. Yes, the president is celebrating them. He's going to host them today, by the way. And some are jokingly saying the FCT minister should start signing their land deeds because they should get a plot or something in the FCT. Some say they should get national honors. The prize money, I think, $1 million, even though for AFCON is $7 million. But what can we learn from this? And this is where I'm going. So we have Nigeria always relying on women for most of our sports competition. Whether it's football, we rely on the Falcons and the rest. Basketball, the Tigress. Athletics, we rely more on women to get us those medals. Shout out to the men, okay? I belong to your camp. But what lessons can we learn from our women so that we can translate it to our men's team? Because we have fantastic athletes who are men as well, Cecilia.
Yeah, it's very simple, Kaide. Resilience, really. That's what these girls have. Resilience, hunger. And the fact that people really don't take them seriously. That's just a fact. They don't have the best of anything at all. I mean, you just mentioned the prize money, which is ludicrous. And they were even celebrating 1 million. Come on, the last time was 500. It was $500,000. Now it's 1 million. So they celebrated $1 million for the winner of a continental trophy. I mean, Euro is a 4 million, but we're not trying to compare. And when people talk about, they don't pull the crowd. But if we had built on what happened at the World Cup or what happened in 2016, if CAF were really serious about things like, merchandise sponsorship, take the women's game seriously, by now we'll be pulling more numbers, even more than the men. We saw Euros, and we can actually replicate that in Africa. So what the men need is simple, Kayode. It's resilience. Maybe because they have everything, the comfort is there. The girls don't have that, so they have to dig deep. They know that if we don't win this, that's the end. They could easily disband the team and maybe tell the coach to leave. And then the girls, of course, the good thing about them is even when they don't win tournaments, you see that clubs come from them. Before, you could have a crop of home-based players playing, at the WAFCON, but now almost all of them are playing abroad. So it's not hard for the girls playing back home to even get into the team, because as long as you go to the tournament, from under 17 level, under 20 level, players get signed, into foreign clubs from that particular performance. So that resilience that they had, they knew that if they don't perform, there is nothing for them. There's nothing to fall back on. It's their performance. That's what gives them, should I use the word popularity? That's when people know that, okay, these girls are actually playing. People didn't know that WAFCON was going on until they beat Zambia 5-0. That's when you started having, many stars, everybody wishing them. I mean, where were they when the tournament started? We didn't have a phone. There was nothing. No one knew that the Falcons were I won't use the word no one. Most people did not know. Apart from us journalists and of course broadcasters are the ones who knew that the Falcons are, somewhere in Morocco playing a tournament. Most people didn't know. So they had to jump on it when they beat Zambia 5-0 when it was training. They didn't have a choice. No, they had to recognize them. So these girls seek relevance every time they step on the field of play. But the boys understood that eyes are already on them. Okay, let's just see what we can give, to make Nigerians happy. But that's not what the girls are thinking. They're thinking of how do we showcase what we have? How do we make people take us seriously? How do we make people understand that, yes, we can also play? We can also give this nation joy. So when they have all that running through their hearts, there is no way they'll step on that field of play and then not do something. Let's look at basketball, for instance. I mean, the women, they're going for a 5th title. The men, when was the last time we even celebrated them? Because after the NBBF, current board of NBBF came on, the Kida-led administration, it's been like the guys couldn't take what was going on in the federation. Most of the NBA players, most of them pulled out. So it's not hard for you to get boys together to play, because what it's being done, it's not something you as a player would want to witness. You want to speak out. But the girls, they felt, okay, yeah, we can still play, and of course get a better club and get a better deal, and maybe get some cash rolling in. And of course, we always say most of these players are breadwinners, so they know that if I have to perform, I know I have to get something. And the only way you can perform is for you to get to the final and win. I believe if the Super Falcons had lost that title, no one would be talking about them.
Indeed. Cecilia, let's just emphasize it for effect, It's 10 trophies against 3. And, perhaps they may need our assistance.
It's not a competition, it's a collaboration.
Yeah, I wanted you to speak. Cecilia,
do we count them? One, assistants counted everything at the stadium.
We'll count with you. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3.
No, before we let Cecilia go, Cecilia, I wanted to find out from you, Cecilia, before we let you go, what would be fair to do for them? 10 times winners, and if you look at Aziza Oshola, 6 times African Female Footballer of the Year. They have crazy record in that team, incredible record. What will be fair from the presidency, not just national award? What will be fair?
I hope maybe what he did to the Super Eagles for winning silver would definitely be fair for them. Yeah, monetary rewards, and of course, lands in FCT. Who mentioned the FCT minister should be signing, the land deeds and everything for the girls. I think that will definitely go a long way. And not just that, yes, monetary rewards, it's fine, land, it's fine. We need a structure to build the national team, really, especially for the women. We have WAFCON next year in 2026. We don't want to be talking about there is no preparation, there is no build-up. We want to see that fanfare. We want to see something. We want to see activations. Companies that have been trying to get crashed on their successes. This is the time for them to actually come out and put that money where your mouth is, and then let's see that support actually coming from everyone. Not just win the win, but build up to a tournament. So World Cup 2027 is coming. WAFCON 2026 is coming. So this is the time for them to start, building. Not just after today, we forget about it and wake up maybe a month to the tournament or 3 weeks to the tournament. That's when you remember that, oh, we still have the Super Falcons going for a title number 11.
And Cecilia, we hope that whatever promises are made will be kept and not delayed. Like the stories we're hearing that Super Eagles from 1991 set, I believe, were just handed over houses, a reward for their effort. But we must anchor at this point. I'm looking forward to lifting you high as you'll be lifting the Super Falcons high when you return home. Our correspondent there, sports correspondent Cecilia Omorogbe, thank you so much for the insights and for your reporting.
Thank you.
Yes, there's more to look forward to on the program. Up next, we'll be touching on politics, this back and forth between the NNPP and the presidency over reported lopsidedness in allocation of budgetary resources to infrastructure development. Stay with us for this one. We'll be right back.